On the precipice of the 2020 season, the annual party has been relocated from downtown to campus. It's an intimate setting for the kickoff to a brand new season.
Do you hear that? Listen carefully. Opportunity knocks. This just might be the chance we've all been waiting for. Last season may have been cut short, but for these two programs, it's all about the road ahead. With all the uncertainty in today's world, we know one thing: we like our teams. A new collection of the nation's finest for both sides. The best player in the country, we can work with that. A Frenchman looking to take his game to the next level, oui. It's time to get this season started. Two programs, the same goal. Opportunities knocking, Big Blue Nation. Hope you're ready.
This is Big Blue Madness 2020. It's a just the cats kind of night at Memorial Coliseum. What a schedule we have for you. The women's team will take the floor. Intros, rapid fire shooting, a three-point contest, and finally a scrimmage. And after the cheer squad takes the floor, John Calipari's team will be on the hardwood. Intros, three-point contest, a dunk contest, and of course, they're gonna play some 5-on-5. And with that, we welcome you inside Memorial Coliseum, lit up like perhaps it's never been lit up before. Tom Hart, Carolyn Peck, and Jimmy Dykes. And Jimmy, 2020, everything's different. And Big Blue Madness is different. We're not at Rupp. They're not 24,000 people full to the rafters. But still, we have a chance to bring Big Blue Nation their first taste of basketball.
You know, and I'm anxious to see how both teams are going to respond to that, Tom, because this is a situation normally where the night is jam-packed with Big Blue Nation turning out. Will they bring their own energy? You know what? They're going to have to do it sometime this year during games. It'll be a good run for them tonight. All
right, Carolyn, we get to see the Kentucky women's basketball team on the floor for the first time. What do you expect tonight, and what do you expect out of this team?
Well, I'm excited. They're under new leadership, but they also have a new head coach, and they've got new players. They've got a lot of depth inside, and to see that go along with Rhyne Howard, who's the reigning SEC Player of the Year, let me tell you, this Kentucky Wildcat women's basketball team's going to make some noise in the SEC.
Yeah, they are. I can't wait to watch Rhyne Howard in person for the first time. Phenomenal. Could be the Player of the Year in the women's game. I'm also anxious to watch the men shoot in the three-point contest because there'll be a little bit of shooting pressure on them for the first time. Who's going to step up in this big moment? You know what else I'm looking forward to? Watching the Kentucky Cheerleaders. They've won 24 national titles, going for 25. I'm here with you, UK Cheer. I'm with you.
All right, we got a big night. It's going to look different. It's going to sound different, but your two favorite teams, well, really your three favorite teams, are going to be on the floor. Time to get the night started. Well, it's a period of transition for the Kentucky women's basketball team. The all-time winningest coach in UK program history has retired. Matthew Mitchell had a hiking accident this spring. It eventually led to brain surgery in the summer. And after trying to coach the team up, once the kids got back to campus, he decided, you know what, it's just too much at this point. So athletic director Mitch Barnhart then handed the reins to Kyra Elzy, who is the interim head coach for the season. And the positives of this, if there are any, is Kyra's been around this team. It's not a huge change. She recruited this team. She knows who they are, and most importantly, possibly, they know who she is.
Well, and she's new to being the head coach, Kyra Elzy is, but she was an assistant coach here at Kentucky from 2008 to 2012, returned 2016-17, and was the associate head coach. And she really, since Matthew's been away from the program since April, has been in charge and really has been running things because, remember, it's been a COVID situation as well. And so keeping this team connected and also in charge of the recruiting and the players' workouts at home, she's done a fantastic job.
All right, so we're seeing some personality as we get into rapid fire shooting. Maybe even more personality than we saw in their intros. It's a loose team.
The most personality that I have seen is new to the program in that Dreana Edwards. Number 44, ladies and gentlemen, she can put on a dance routine, but she also is a phenomenal player on the court. She is a tweener, but she can rebound and bring it with great size, but she can also come in transition.
Carolyn, I think she gives Kentucky, I know she does, what they didn't have last year. She gives them a physical, banging presence around the rim. They can hold up in the rough and tumble SEC, and a kid that can rebound it and bring it up the floor fits right into how Kentucky loves to play. I think that's the one good, this transition from Matthew Mitchell to Elzy is smooth because she believes like Matthew in terms of how the game is supposed to be played. Let's play fast, let's press, let's get up and down the floor.
Transfer from Utah, where she was the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year.
Yes, and like Jimmy talked about, with the size and the physical presence, the similarity between Matthew Mitchell and Kyra Elzy is they were both defensive-minded coaches, and they wanted players that could play multiple positions, just like Dre'Ana Edwards can do. But what Kentucky has been missing is that inside presence. So with Edwards, and also Olivia Owens is another big body, and that's going to free up the player we hadn't talked about yet.
Yeah, why we've taken this long to get to Rhyne Howard.
Rhyne Howard, the reigning SEC Player of the Year. She is AP preseason All-American, and I'm looking for her to have a fantastic junior season.
Has she always gotten the attention and the respect that she deserves, or has it been behind others of her caliber?
She has always played from behind. Coming out of high school, she did not make McDonald's All-American. What did she do in her freshman season? Become the SEC Freshman of the Year and National Freshman of the Year. Then after her sophomore season, she was left off of the WBCA All-American list. So what is Rhyne Howard going to do this year? She's going to make some major noise.
Okay, and here's my question for you when it comes to motivation. How much does that matter to her, and how much does that motivate her on a daily basis?
Oh, constantly. As soon as the All-American list came out, there was a tweet, and she's like, oh, y'all want to forget about me? I tweeted right back at her. I went, uh-oh. That's poking the bear right there, because I know how motivated Rhyne Howard will be.
You know what I love about her, Carolyn, talking to their staff, is she lifts others up around her with her body language, with her work ethic, with her voice. Just watching her move on the floor right now live for me for the first time. Man, what a beautiful athlete. Has great body control, smooth in everything that she does. But that, if there's a more determined, more focused lady on a mission in college basketball this year than Rhyne Howard, I don't know who she is. But this kid's got a chip on her shoulder, and rightfully so.
And if you didn't know, we're talking about 10 in white on the right side of your screen with the jumper. Fantastic game all around. What if you had to nail it down to one thing, what is the strength of her game?
Versatility. She can play in so many different directions. You will see her this season at times. She'll run the point. She'll bring the ball down the floor. She'll be playing on the perimeter. She will knock down the three. And she's got the size and strength to get bites of the paint. She can power it in off the dribble, or she can post up a smaller guard.
The versatility, Tom, that she brings, the little bit that I've seen of her and talked to other coaches in the league, it's hard to find a versatile defender to match her all over the floor, because she's too big for a smaller kid around the block. She's too quick for a bigger kid outside. She can score from all three levels. She has a confidence in her offensive game that is very, very rare. And I think it oozes to those other kids. You have Kentucky this year now with an inside presence to go along with her. This could be a team that's going to be right there in the thick of things, I believe.
Rapid fire shooting continues. We'll have a scrimmage and a three-point contest for the women as well. As Big Blue Madness continues, still to come, John Calipari's men's team with a three-point contest, a scrimmage, and a slam dunk contest. A little bit different here at Memorial. Instead of a packed house at Rupp and the energy, so the players have to bring their own energy to the floor.
Carolyn, as always, on the women's side, the SEC is loaded again. South Carolina is going to start the season #1, first time in school history to have a preseason AP ranking beside them. But Texas A&M loaded up again. Arkansas, with all those transfers, loaded up again. Kentucky's going to be right there. Well, it's just such a hard league. You and I have coached in it.
Oh, yeah.
Just every night, man, you just get pounded in the nose.
Well, and with Kentucky, the coaches selected Kentucky #2, like the men. The men were picked #2 preseason as well. And I think it's because of adding the inside presence post-game and the depth that the Wildcats are going to have this season. Like you talked about, that top half of the SEC is going to be fantastic.
It all starts, though, with number 10, the reigning SEC Player of the Year. Let's learn more about Rhyne Howard.
Another career night for Rhyne Howard, a record-setting performance for old number 10.
What a difference Rhyne Howard makes when she's in the game. It's not just her offense, but her defense. Oh, Rhyne Howard. Nasty. Nasty. Show him, Howard. Show him, 10, what you can do. Oh, way up off the window. No quit. No give up. Determination.
Rhyne Howard does it again.
Yep, still fits.
Hashtag crown her. Look at the numbers. The accolade, second in the country in scoring, nearly 23.5 points a game. 10th in the country with 3 threes a game. She'll show her shooting prowess here in a moment in the three-point contest. How fired up are you watching that? The crown. I mean, how good is this?
She is one of my favorite players, not just in the SEC, but in the country. And let me tell you, the other thing, the strength of her game is her personality. She endears her teammates that want to play hard, not just with her, but for her.
All right, we got the three-point contest ready to go. And we'll have one of the newcomers, a freshman from Louisville, Erin Toller, to get us started here at Memorial Coliseum. Here are your contestants in the three-point contest. All right, I'm going to take Rhyne Howard off the board, okay? You guys can't pick Rhyne Howard. So maybe you're picking for second. I don't care who you got.
Jimmy, who you got?
I'm going to take Treasure Hunt. Because first of all, I love the name, but when the coach says she can flat out shoot the leather off the basketball, I'm taking Treasure Hunt in the three-point contest.
I'm going to go with Chastity Patterson.
Good call.
Now, she is one that can light it up. She transferred from Texas, eligible in December last year. She's instant offense. But in talking to Nia Butts before Madness tonight, she said this young lady right here, Erin Toller, is the one that she put her money on. As a freshman, she's been lighting it up in practice.
One of my daughter's name is Emma. I'm going with Emma. We've already seen a queen's crown. Now we got a king. She'll be shooting in this contest as well. Toller nails one to finish off the rack. That's some money ball. Counts as 2 as she completes her trip around. Red hot on that rack.
She has a very tight, compact, repeatable release on the basketball. Good rotation. Important ball here.
Got it at the buzzer. What a finish. 17 in the first round for Erin Toller.
That freshman showed no nerves.
No.
Composure.
In front of the entire crew.
Tom, every time that ball is just right there, in and out, she gets it off quick for a freshman. That sets her up well. Bam.
And now Treasure Hunt's turn. 2,000 point score in high school for Treasure Hunt.
How many?
2,000.
Coach, that is a college-ready body right there. It's 6'2", strong. Going to shoot it with ease from distance. You can tell with a kid with that kind of strength. She's my pick, and I need the money ball. Here we go, Treasure.
They're shooting it behind the men's three-point line.
Yeah. I always loved kids that had a little bit of length that could make some guarded threes, and that's what she's going to do for this Kentucky team on the perimeter.
Got to get back on track after missing a couple on this rack. Six behind.
Oh.
Running out of time and running out of ammo. But a really good first round for the freshman Treasure Hunt.
Didn't quite shoot the leather off the ball, from what I can tell. Maybe shot some of the paint off the rim, maybe a little too much. But man, I like the look of that athlete going forward.
She's got a lot of confidence. I watched her play in high school and watched her in travel ball, and I'm going to tell you, when she catches up with the speed of the game, the college game, she's going to be awesome.
Here's Emma King. You know, kids from Kentucky can shoot. She's from the Commonwealth, from Stanford.
And the blue and white game, Emma King, I had to check the stats when I was just watching, because she has really put in the work. Between her freshman and sophomore season, she has developed a lot more confidence. She needs to see that ball go through the rim a few times, and I think once it does, she'll get in that rhythm.
Carolyn, how hard is that, and how much harder was it during COVID to develop as a player and pick up confidence?
I can guarantee you in Kentucky, these kids found a gym somewhere to put the ball up, or even if it was in their driveway.
A perfect rack for Emma King. She won't win it, but a good showing all the way around. Money ball, just off the mark. Good pace by all the shooters so far. Nobody's rushing to get that final ball in.
Well, this Kentucky women's basketball team has not been shy about taking the three-point shot. And with the new additions, this one here, Robin Benton transferring from Auburn, just found out that she is going to be eligible to play this season. This will be another perimeter threat for the Wildcats.
From Conyers, Georgia, was on the All-SEC freshman team when she first started on the Plains, now in the Commonwealth.
Carolyn, you and I both know, coming out of Auburn, she should at least understand the importance of playing defense down there for Coach Flo. I think she's an important kid talking to their staff, because she can be a backup point a little bit. Another young lady that can shoot the ball. If you're a shooter on the floor for Kentucky this year, you're going to get some open looks because of all the defensive attention. You got to run two, I think, a lot of times probably at Howard. Somebody's going to have some open looks because of it.
Yeah, it's going to take at least two to stop or slow down Ryan Howard. Then you add to that, Jimmy, the post game.
Yeah.
So now, if the defense has to rotate in, I can't wait for the conference to see Olivia Owens and Dreana Edwards play, because when you've got that inside presence, I mean, Kentucky's got a good balance.
Benton shot 32% from deep. Last year, she finishes with 10.
Here's my pick right here.
Erin Toller is the leader with 17. Chastity won it last year at Big Blue Madness. Past the halfway point after Chastity, we got 3 more to go.
Oh, here we go. Lights out.
Oh, Tom, she also won the three-point contest at the McDonald's All-American game her senior year in high school back in 2017. Should have taken her. Why did I not?
Don't jinx her. Get that money ball, Chastity. There, girl. There
now
you go.
She's got a chance. Toller, the leader in the clubhouse, with 17.
Carolyn, she's a point guard that can really, really score. Still trying to figure out at times how to run a team and keep them in their offense. But in terms of speed, a scorer's mentality at that #1 position.
Got to be perfect to take the lead. Here's for the tie. The buzzer, and we got 17 apiece between Patterson and Toller.
Plays the game with a joyful spirit, I can tell you that much.
Oh, she's so fun to watch. And look, she hit the ground running last season, but this was one thing Matthew Mitchell knew she could do. She could score the basketball. He said, don't worry about learning the offense, just go put points on the board.
Time for Blair Green now. Entering her 3rd season, a 33% career three-point shooter. Slow start first rack. There it is. How versatile is Blair Green?
Last season, Tom, she played just about every position there was to play. Due to injuries or players out, You could rotate Blair in. She could play the 2, the 3, and at times she played inside and played a post.
What I appreciate about her right now, talking to their staff, is she's one of the kids that really took advantage during the shutdown, the COVID shutdown, and really went to work on getting her to be a better athlete overall. Came back in terrific shape, and defensively has always been the question for her. Lost her confidence, they said, last year, but certainly in position this year to have a more of a breakout season.
Well done. Finishes with the money ball, and a good round for Green. Finishes with 13. Cameron Roach, and then after Cameron is Rhyne Howard. Cameron missed last season with a torn Achilles. Junior from Hopkins, South Carolina.
And all during the season last year, when I would come and do Kentucky games, she was doing workouts, just trying her best to do her rehab, to get herself in the position to come and contribute this season. And the difference that I see already in Cameron Roach from last year to this year, her body. She looks like she's in much better shape, has worked herself into better condition.
Got off to a great start with the first rack. Not in a rush. Second rack has not been kind.
Tom, she has that forward jumping rhythm about her as a jump shooter. She's going to land, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 feet from where she takes off from. That's okay if you could repeat that time after time after time. I prefer jump shooters going up and down the same spot myself, Coach.
Yeah, but she is consistent with it.
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
And we see so many shooters that land different ways, and so you really don't know if that shot's going in or not. She's got that consistent jump you're talking about.
Yeah.
Needs to be perfect here for the tie, and she runs out of time. That very patient start cost her the opportunity to work her way into a tie with Chastity Patterson and Erin Toller. All right. School record 84 threes last year. Rhyne Howard was not on the board. She is the favorite across the board. This should be fun.
Yeah. Rhyne Howard was the first Kentucky women's basketball player to score in back-to-back games, hit 7 threes.
Wow. Oh, rushing her way through the third rack, and that's going to cost her the opportunity to win this thing. There is plenty of time left, still 20 seconds to go in this round for the reigning SEC Player of the Year.
I don't know why she sped up on that, what's it, 4th and 5th rack.
Good finish for the Conference Player of the Year. We have a bonus round. We had a tie between Chastity Patterson and Erin Toller.
Senior versus freshman right here.
The freshman Toller will start us off.
Karen, you may have mentioned it, but I believe this young lady missed most of her sophomore and junior year in high school with a knee injury. So you see that right knee, and I love her stroke. It's always right in that shot pocket, boom, and it's up and out of there. For a small kid, how quickly you can get it off is a real key for her, and I think she gets it off probably less than a second from the time she grabs that thing off the rack.
And what I like is the flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
Limited time, second time through. Toller grabs a money ball off the third rack. That's, for a freshman, that's a veteran move. People need to think about that tonight. So she ends up with 9. And Patterson will have a chance for the win. Huge advantage, Jimmy, going second in this scenario.
It is. You know the number you have to hit. And again, this is a kid that has won the three-point shooting contest in Big Blue Madness and the McDonald's All-American game. I do not think she'll be shook by the moment.
No, halfway there now.
Oh, that was big.
17 seconds remain. Needs 10 for the win.
She reminds me, Carolyn, of a young lady I coached at Arkansas, Malika Monk.
Oh, yeah.
The look, the size, the shot, all those things are very, very similar.
Patterson with 10 in the shoot-off to take home the title. And, yeah, you win.
I won. I picked the winner. I picked the winner.
Yeah, let's celebrate.
Would that move from some movie?
Dirty Dancing?
Exactly.
There
Thank
you go.
Phone a friend. Thank you.
Nobody puts baby in a corner, but we'll put Chastity Patterson in front of a camera and talk to her about why she's so good in three-point contests. 17 in the first round, came from behind, shooting second in the championship round. Chastity, congratulations. Like, this is old hat to you. You're like, I can do it with Rupp full, I can do it with Memorial empty, doesn't matter. What's the secret to being a great shooter in a contest like this?
First and foremost, I just want to get all the glory to God and just getting in the gym, putting in extra shots. That's all it is.
Chastity, last season, you weren't able to start playing until the second semester, and Coach Mitchell told you to come in and bring your offense. And so now, coming into your senior season, now how have you improved your game?
Just being an all-around player, offensive and defensive. I know I got an offensive game, but just bringing my defense is something that I've been focusing on. So it's me.
And one of the things I asked Coach Elzy about you is, you know, we talked about Chastity's offense. Has she put a focus on her defense? Coach Elzy said yes. What do you think?
I definitely have, and that's something that you're going to see me improving on this season.
Chastity, you're running the team. Tell me the difference in this year's team right now and last year's team. Where have you grown? Where's Kentucky basketball better?
One thing that's different from last year is just everybody's dedicated. We're all getting in the gym and we're just having fun, and it's a good chemistry off the bat when we first got here. So I think the having fun part and just working hard, and it's all coming together.
Sounds good. We'll get on the floor. The scrimmage is coming up next. Chastity Patterson, back-to-back winner, and Big Blue Madness in the three-point contest for the Kentucky women. Lady Cats will be on the floor here at Memorial. Their scrimmage begins right after this.
So my name is Olivia Owens. I'm a junior from Albany, New York, and my major is U.S. Cultural and Business Practices, and I double minor in Criminology and Communications. I love doing community service. I actually just got done doing, I was doing video calls with some of the children at the UK hospital, and it was actually just really cool just to sit down and talk to kids just about like their experiences during this pandemic and how things may have shifted, and just being, I don't want to say a big sister, but kind of like a big sister to them. And it's cool. And just like kind of everyone else always says about community service, it always changes you as a person. Like, you feel like you're giving back to them, but really it's like they're shaping you and making you feel like a better person. So yeah. My name is Olivia Owens, and I am more than an athlete.
My name is Cameron Roach. I'm a kinesiology and health promotion major, and I'm from Hopkins, South Carolina. Coming back from quarantine, we were really focused on getting in the gym and getting better. But on the other side of that, we were also just overwhelmed with what was going on in the world. One morning we decided to come in and not have practice, but just to have a sit down and talk about how everyone was feeling. And that's when we started to talk about doing the Unity Fair and the social justice march, because we wanted to actually start to have a hand in change and how we can help people like ourselves and even people outside of athletics. So we all come from different upbringings, different communities, different backgrounds. We look different. We must first understand that we may have different perspectives. There's a picture I saw with the number 6 or 9, and there's one person on one side and the other person on the other. So one sees a 6 and the other sees a 9, but neither of them are wrong about where they stand. So we must first understand and look for understanding when we're having these huge conversations. My name is Cameron Roach, and I am more than an athlete.
Welcome back. Big Blue Madness continues. Tom Hart, Carolyn Peck, Jimmy Dykes from the concourse level, and on the Memorial Coliseum video board, the parents and the friends of the women's basketball team watching live via Zoom. Time to get the ladies on the floor in a 10-minute scrimmage. And go figure. Ball ends up in number 10's hand to start this off. We got Elzy on a headset, courtside. Coach, what does this day mean to you? All the work that you guys put in and the transition that this team has had to go through now to get the team on the floor and kind of celebrate the offseason?
Yeah, so proud of this team. They have been beyond resilient, so coachable and willing to work, but I love that they are fierce competitors. As you can tell in the shooting contest, they do not want to lose at anything.
Kyra, how much fun has it been? I know what it's like going 6 inches over to that head coaching spot with this team, especially having players that you recruited.
You know, it's been really special, and they have lifted me up and definitely given me a vote of confidence. They were like, we have your back, Coach. So I told them we better take the floor and play hard, but I know they'll do that for me.
Kyra, I read where you said that I do not have that Pat Summitt stare, but I do have that Pat Summitt intensity. So what does that look like in your eyes when you watch your team play? How should that look?
Well, I do not have the stare. That was for the one and only
yes, it was.
Coach Summitt. But I am fiery and intense like she is. They do understand the expectation and standard in which I want to perform on the court. Now, I'll get after them. I don't yell all the time, but they know when I'm serious. But the 55s have really set the tone. They hate running those, so I don't have to do a whole bunch of yelling besides blow the whistle and get to the line.
Coach, let's talk about your team, and obviously when you do, you start with number 10, the conference player of the year. What was the offseason like for Rhyne Howard getting her ready for this year?
You know, Rhyne really took a step forward in trying to become a vocal leader. Prior to that, she just wanted to lead by example. She really stepped out of her comfort zone. She met with all kinds of people who were so gracious to help her take a step forward, with LaChina Robinson, Tamika Catchings, and they really challenged her, Sabrina Ionescu, what it takes to be great. So I think she has come with a chip on her shoulder.
And Kyra, you talked about how Rhyne Howard has had an effect on this team, especially players like Chastity Patterson. What has that been like in seeing the maturation of the other players?
Well, you know, she has really made everyone step up their competitive spirit and their will to win. Where she used to just sit back and want to lead by example, now she is demanding greatness from everyone, and that has really raised our level of intensity in practice, and I think you'll see it in the games as well.
Has there been any additional pressure since the preseason coaches poll has come out and picked you guys number 2?
You know, I saw it yesterday. My husband sent it to me, and I started laughing. And I said, no pressure here. But, you know, we just have to stay focused, one game at a time. But we have the talent and the depth and the athleticism to do exactly what they picked us to do. But obviously, we're trying to finish first. We might as well go for the gusto.
Yeah, there you go.
Kyra, I read in the head coaching job description early this afternoon that part of it is you have to dance at Big Blue Madness, right?
Well, we will leave the legacy with Coach Mitchell. He has done a fabulous job in holding it down, and we will let it end with him as well. I told Coach Amber if she was more than welcome to do so, but I will let them have that.
Well, Kyra, you mentioned Amber Smith, and you also have Nia Butts. How comforting is it to have those two to be here with you as you make this move to the head coaching spot?
You know, I told the team and staff there is no other staff, no other team that I would want to do this with. So I am so blessed to have them. You know, Coach Butts and I have been battle tested together at Tennessee. Coach Summitt has made us warriors, so we know what it takes to win. And for it to come full circle for Amber to be with us coaching, she put Kentucky on the map, so I'm blessed with an unbelievable staff.
Kyra, let's talk style. We know you got the player of the year. You mentioned the depth that you guys have. What is the ideal tempo and style for this team this year?
Well, we want to play up-tempo. We want to get the ball out and run. We're extremely versatile. We love that our post can get it off the glass, lead the break. So definitely we want to run and gun. If they make us set up, we have quick hitters, want to play out of the ball screen. And defensively, we want to be disruptive, force as many turnovers as we can, and create scoring opportunities off of our defense.
Kyra, you mentioned the post game. That's something Kentucky has kind of been slim in that area. How nice is it to have that big physical size inside?
We keep telling Olivia, she makes us different. She is physical. She wants the ball inside, and she demands it. And so for us to be able to play inside out consistently, you will see our offense will look different. Dre is the same way. She can score inside, but Dre can also stretch the defense, get it off the glass and go. Her basketball IQ and skill set is extremely high.
Kyra, how you've been through this league as an assistant multiple years, and you're getting ready to go through it now as a head coach. Just from a big picture standpoint, how would you describe this league to others that have never been through it?
Well, it's a very competitive league. It's physical. Night in and night out, you have to bring your A game, and the tempo and pace in which you have to play consistently. And in any given night, you can get beat. So the preparation that it takes and the amazing coaches in this league, I mean, it makes it the best league in the conference for a reason.
Kyra, you are now just a little more than a week away from the first game. So in the preparation up until this point, who has made the greatest step forward, the most improvement that you've seen since this group has gotten together?
I would say Emma King. She is really playing with a lot of confidence. She's shooting the ball well. Her IQ is extremely high, and her work ethic is extremely relentless. And she is a kid that showed that toughness and relentless in your work ethic will pay off, and she's playing well because of it.
Coach, nobody's been through a season like we're about to go through here, and I'm just curious from a preparation standpoint, not only the transition on the bench, but how was this summer different, and what big adjustments did you guys have to make sure this team was ready to go?
Well, this definitely with COVID-19 has been like no other. We basically missed the summer, so we had to come in. Our poor freshmen are getting baptized by fire because they missed the summer. But when we came in, it was full steam ahead. We've had some players in and out of practice, but once again, like I said, they are resilient. They have worked hard, and we just keep telling them that we are going to face adversity this year. It's how we handle it.
Kyra, thanks so much. Best of luck this season. Great spending time with you tonight.
Thank you so much.
Kyra Elzy named the interim head coach here at Kentucky. And, I mean, all the right answers, but you mentioned it, that the shift from just one seat over can bring with it a certain amount of pressure.
Well, it can, but what can give you a lot of confidence is knowing, number one, you've got leadership on the floor. She's got Rhyne Howard and Kiki McKinney that are going to bring tremendous leadership for her within that locker room. And then she has a staff around her that she trusts, that she's familiar with, that know what she's thinking and how to help her. That takes a little bit of that pressure off.
We haven't talked much about Kiki McKinney so far tonight, the senior from Knoxville. What does she bring to the table from a leadership perspective?
She brings an intensity on the floor. She is uber competitive, and she also brings a calmness when things can get a little helter-skelter, not like what we're seeing in the scrimmage today. Right. But in the games, and especially in the SEC, as intense as those games can be, it'll be Kiki McKinney that you'll see tell the team, look, we got this, everything's all right, and she'll make the big play, whether it be getting a big stop defensively, getting a big rebound, or not knocking down a key shot.
Tom, to me, the biggest takeaway for me over the last 24 hours, kind of breaking down this women's team, is the transition from Matthew Mitchell to Kyra Elzy should be pretty seamless because they see the game the same way. They believe how the game is supposed to be played the same way. You know, Kyra came in and she actually got Matthew Mitchell when she first got back here to buy into playing some zone. So this is a young lady in Kyra Elzy that Matthew Mitchell has had a ton of trust and belief in. And more importantly, those young ladies on the floor right now believe in Kyra Elzy. Rhyne Howard is a preseason All-American, could be the National Player of the Year. I like her leadership. I like her body language. I like the pieces for Kentucky. You wish nothing for the best than for Kyra Elzy in her first year.
And the buzzer was a little bit wide. All right, well, you've got the superstar on the floor, Rhyne Howard. She's used to the spotlight. Yep, you're welcome. Great to see y'all. And she'll make I thought they were waving at you.
Oh, they were?
Yeah. And Rhyne will make her way to the microphone.
They waved at me like that after I got beat in here by 20 as I walked off the court. I've seen you wave before.
Rhyne Howard joins us now. Rhyne, we've been singing your praises all night. They're much deserved, obviously. How is this year going to be different for you and this team?
This is definitely going to be different because we have a lot of skill and talent coming back. We have an amazing group of girls on this team. Everyone likes to compete hard. Everyone wants to win, so it's very challenging in practice. So we're all going at each other, making sure that we're all getting better each and every day.
Rhyne, you're a tremendous team player, but I know that before your freshman year, you were not McDonald's All-American, and that motivated you.
Yeah.
After last season, you were left off an All-American team. How much has that motivated you coming into this season?
Oh, it's definitely motivated me a lot. I'm definitely going to be going 100 times harder than what I did last year to try and improve myself even more than I already have, just to show them that they made a mistake by leaving me off.
Rhyne, your coaches tell me that you lift others up. I love that quality about you. Tell me where you learned it and how important that is.
I think I've always had it since I was a young player. I always want to have the team involved, and I always want to make sure that everyone else is doing good because it's not going to be 1-on-5 out there. So I have to make sure everyone else is getting their shots, and if somebody else is hot, then I'm making sure that they're getting what they need to get and they're getting the good looks, and I'm just I'm there to help them make sure that they're still playing to the best of their ability.
Rhyne, great to see you. Best of luck this year. Thank you
so much.
Well, she also lifts up the scoring average when she's dropping 23 points a game, second best in the country. Tomorrow, it's SEC Nation, presented by Regions Bank. Laura Rutledge, Roman Harper, Tim Tebow, and Jordan Rogers will be by with live reports, features, and all the game breakdowns and predictions. It's 10 a.m. Eastern on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Can you hear it? Can you hear the cheering, the tumbling? National championships for this squad, and they will take the floor when we return as Big Blue Madness flips on. This continues, the 24-time national champion cheer squad ready to go, and Jimmy, it's a new era.
Yeah, Coach Ryan, Martin O'Connor takes over, and what an accomplishment she was as a cheerleader. 5-time state champion, won a national championship at Alabama as a cheerleader, 3-time gold medalist with Team USA. She comes from a cheerleading background, Tom. Her mom, Donna Martin, Lexington Dunbar High School, 8 national championships. This Kentucky program is in great hands with Coach Ryan.
And so, without further ado,
this is Kentucky. Let's go wild. Cats blowing in the building. Let's go wild. Cats blowing when you representing. Yo, we scratch them up. You can't scratch them up. Yo, we scratch them up. There ain't no match for us. Nah, we the wild. Cats straight out the wild. It's fast. Where did I come from? They wanted the bottom of pity. I got an epiphany. I came to win. I'm a savage. I will not lose. I'm a savage. Stare in the eye of a savage. You can't deny I'm a savage. I came to win. I'm a savage. I'm a savage. Stare in the eye of a savage. You can't deny I'm a savage. kitchen. Little side song, little rock on. Let's lose all inhibitions. Only thing I know is a hot song. Turn up the temperature now. We gotta raise up the dial. It's heating up, about to burn down the house. Set that roof on fire. Fuego, then it's hasta luego. Hot as the stove, hot as jalapeno. Cooking me in that boy caribeño. Mommy, she dancing hot as a flame. It's heating up, it's heating up, it's heating up, let that fire burn. It's heating up, it's heating up, it's heating up, let that fire burn, burn. Let it burn, burn is the word. That fire for sure. I spit that, heat that, make that beat go berserk. Work, so hot my verse, so hot. Take off that shirt, so hot, it's about to burst. Let that fire burn, burn. It's heating up, it's heating up, it's heating up, let that fire burn. This is Kentucky. You say you funny, let's go get it. You say you funny, let's go get it. You say you funny, let's go get it. You say you funny, let's go. Who goes as hard as I go? To the end of the road, I give my heart and soul. I say go and get it. I'm so focused, so resilient. I don't woke up to a million, trying to wake up to a billion. When I walk up in the building, I bet everybody know. I'm like Kobe with the driving, I'm like AI when I blow. Trying to pick up my selection just like anybody know. Ain't nobody out here better, you can see it how I flow. We are Wildcats. All I really know is winning, I'ma win again. 10 seconds on the clock, I'm trying to get it in. Pass your boy the ball, pass your boy the ball. They cue it in the sense, and once you pass it, I'ma ball. All I really know is winning, I'ma win again. 10 seconds on the clock, I'm trying to get it in. Kentucky Wildcats. Big Blue Nation, we the sensation. Wildcats give you all the inspiration.
Wow. 24-time national champions in Kentucky cheer squad getting ready for their season, and we get a step closer to the Kentucky men's basketball team taking the floor. You know, you're a national champion cheerleader. You're built a little bit different. You can say the same thing about John Calipari's squad.
What do you know about Kentucky? Well, they get 40 pros and they make $3 billion, and okay, but do you understand the work here and that we're going to be with you? We're a family. There's ups and downs to this.
When you think Kentucky basketball, you think excellence. But the biggest thing that you think about is the people that make every single day go for Kentucky, from the top to the bottom.
So the sky's the limit here in terms of resources. You know, Coach Cal really spares no expense, so to speak, when it comes to finding things that are going to make our players successful and healthy.
We look at a guy from day one. We run tests on him to see what areas he is more susceptible to injury. We will go on and create a program that is going to be specialized for him.
You know, this is the sports medicine team. This is how we are developing you, and it's not just the weight room, it's not just a training room, but there's an aspect to this that involves nutrition, your mental health. So working with each of those, persons in charge of those areas is huge for us to have success.
We try to gear our nutrition program to be very individualized for each athlete. What I try to do is just put systems in place so that they always have the option to choose better food.
From the Anthony Davises to the Rajon Rondos to the Dakari Johnsons, choosing the University of Kentucky to achieve your goals and chase your dreams, both athletically and academically. There's nowhere better.
We prepare our guys so they have an easy transition onto the next level of playing professional basketball. And not only being at the position to get to the next level, but to get to the next level and thrive from the time that they start their career to the time that they finish their career.
I don't make a whole lot of promises, never have. But we make commitments. The commitment being this will be about players first. I know how big this program is, but it's only big because of the players who have gone through here. This program will be about players first.
For the 8th time, college basketball's national championship trophy is coming home to Kentucky.
My legacy should not be about wins and losses, should not be about championships and I'm better than him or I have more wins. No, it's, all right, what did he do for the kids that he coached? We've had the biggest impact on the groups that we've coached. We had great runs. Good stuff has happened for the program and our players. I want the next 5 years to be that.
As if we didn't already know.
Good
you needed
point.
tonight to learn that?
Now move the trash cans. All right. I mean, that was fun. A lot of former Cats, not just from last year's team, but over the years, introducing the newest Cats. And we'll have these new Cats in the three-point contest. Here's the list. Davion Mintz, Isaiah Jackson, Terrence Clark, Devin Askew, Olivier Sarr, Dante Allen, B.J. Boston, Cameron Fletcher, and Keon Brooks Jr. Some of these guys can stroke it. Some of them won't get much of a chance in the game. Davion Mintz is going to start stroking. We got a late scratch for Isaiah Jackson. So he got some shots up, but he's not going to compete. So we got to focus on Mintz, a grad transfer from Creighton.
He's heated up. Oh, man.
Carolyn, watch his feet. He lands not more than 2 or 3 inches outside the jump spot. He got very consistent footwork. I know you love that. That's you build the shot from the ground up.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. If you can get consistency with your feet, then you work up through your legs, hips, and then that arm. You get that elbow down, extension, flick of the wrist. That's pretty.
35% from behind the arc for Creighton in his career. Got to get back on track after a couple of misses here. There are no rounds to this. We're just going to put shots up, and then the leading scorer will take home the title. Got 6 seconds left.
Yeah,
last rack.
Yeah, he's been going a little slow.
Gotta have to hurry.
Yeah, the money ball's important. There you
Hey,
go.
that's a veteran move. Reach for the money ball first. You don't have to do it at the end of the rack. He says, give me my points. And Davion Mintz puts up 22.
Tom, he will help Kentucky win ball games this year, as will this next guy, by the way.
All right, so Isaiah Jackson's going to step aside. We'll get Terrence Clark to put up some shots. Got to get a couple up to get warm.
Well, he only needs a couple in this building. You know, Clark's a kid right now offensively. He's the best Kentucky has at getting a paint touch, driving the ball to the rim. He's a big attacking guard. That three-point shot is still developing with him. But again, Carolyn, I just look at his mechanics. Like, it looks good coming off of his hand.
Well, this is the first time I've gotten a chance to see him live. I've watched 2 of the scrimmages that Kentucky has had. And first, in watching it before kind of breaking down players, I just wanted to see who stood out. And Terrence Clark was that person. And it was because of his aggressive nature, a lot of confidence in attacking the basket. And the other thing I like about him, Jimmy, is his defense. His feet are good, but he also has his hands up.
Yeah, if he can stay in front of the other team's point guard, talking about Clark or B.J. Boston, either one is 6'7". You got problems running offense.
All right, here we go. Isaiah Jackson says, I'm in. I got some shots up to warm up on one side. Now I'm on the side where the buckets count. Freshman from Pontiac, Michigan. I have in my notes Jimmy Sleeper next to his name. Now, I don't expect him to be a three-point threat, but then again, nobody's guarding him right now. But we've been wildly impressed with his performance before the games have started.
Yeah, he has wild talent, Tom. And this is a guy that, you know, from 12 feet and in, he can put it on the floor with quickness and get to the rim off the bounce. He can rebound shots outside of his wingspan. You do not have to run plays for Isaiah Jackson. I think he'll be in that starting lineup game one. He has been the surprise of Kentucky in that freshman class during fall camp. And again, he can make some trail threes. That's not his deal, but the shot doesn't look bad. It's not broken at all mechanically.
Usually when you say a guy has a high motor that's making up for other deficiencies, that's just one of the things that he brings to the table. Got the last shot up, and Isaiah Jackson's going to put a 12-point effort on the board here. Couple into our three-point contest. All right, we got the rhythm down now. We'll get loose on one side of the floor, come down, be ready to go on the other side. And here's Terrence Clark, the freshman from Boston.
Now, hearing Coach Calipari talk about Terrence Clark, he says the sky's the limit for this young man. Says he's got a huge ceiling, a total huge upside.
Well, he's an athletic freak is what he is. At 6'7", can run and jump really with anyone in the freshman class across the country. Again, his strength right now is going by his initial defender, getting to the paint. He's making good decisions. The shot's going to come from distance, but he's learning how to work. And Cal has been on number 5 the past month to get the casual bad habits out of his game. And then once he takes that next step, then number 5's game will go to a whole nother level.
And that last 2 rounds might be a microcosm of his start here at Kentucky. Didn't make a shot in the second rack, made every shot on the third rack. And once he finds his footing, figuratively and literally, as Carolyn said, sky's the limit for him.
But he's losing time. He ran around the rack instead of just coming to the side where it is and picking it up from that left side.
Finish with a flourish, knocking down the money ball. Terrence Clark with a 16-point round. We saw one point guard, Davion Mintz, get this thing going. The transfer from Creighton put up 22. And that was Devin Askew, freshman out of Mater Dei, Sacramento, California. They'll both run the point. And it remains to be seen, Jimmy, really what Cal asks of his point guards this year. But one point that he's made to Askew in practice is they're going to start by going under the screen on you. And if they're going to go under, you're going to have an opportunity to knock down some shots.
And I think he will. And you're exactly right. The scouting report early will be go underneath any ball screen on number 2. But Askew's a kid that works his tail off now. He lives in that gym. He understands the hours that it's going to take. I think from just a true form standpoint, he shoots the ball from that point guard spot maybe as well as Cal's had in the last several years of that situation. But what's amazing to me, Carolyn, he should be a senior in high school, and now he's going to be running the offense at Kentucky with that voice of John Calipari wearing him out every day. I think he's mentally tough to handle it, physically tough to handle it. He's going to be a real pleasure to watch grow into that spot.
Well, it says a lot about his maturity to be reclassified, really supposed to be a senior in high school right now. But watching him shoot, this is the slowest I have seen him in any of the practices that I've seen.
Right.
Because he normally goes 110 miles an hour.
Very deliberate, trying to work his way around the horn. And this one, last shot, will not count, but he's going to get his shots up. Let's just ignore the buzzer.
Tom, I reclassified before reclassified was cool. Repeating my 10th grade year, I went from a 1981 graduate to a 1982 graduate. These guys have nothing on me.
Oh, that's fantastic. Here's Olivier Sarr. In any language, he is prime for a big season. Wake Forest transfer, played for Danny Manning there, and the Bordeaux, France native brings a lot of athleticism to the 5 position.
Check out the 7-footer hit the full rack. First time out.
I will tell you this, Tom, I think we mentioned it last week. During the month of September, the 2 best shooters from three-point line, Davion Mintz and Olivier Sarr.
Only 2 misses through the first 2 racks for Sarr. He finished his Wake Forest career on a tear. Last couple of ACC games he put up 55 points and 20 boards over his last 2. And that was against Notre Dame and Duke.
He's from a large town in France, Toulouse, over 1.5 million people.
Learned that one the hard way,
A lot of folks think that's a small town. They are wrong. It is a city, a thriving city. Uh-oh, air ball from the far corner.
Got to pick it back up. Money ball. What a round by Sarr. He finishes with 16. Not bad for a 7-footer. All right, here's Carolyn's pick. Dante Allen. Put up huge numbers in his high school career.
Does he know he has the pressure of Carolyn Peck's on his shoulders right now? Has anyone told him that?
We should run down the
He may
floor
miss
and let
every
him know.
shot with that kind of pressure.
Look, I handicapped this. Like I said, you got to look at past performances. We're in horse racing country.
How does he do in the heat? I think that we need to know that because the climate's key for all the horses.
Well, you have to see when he works up his lather, he's getting into that mode. He's getting into his rhythm.
He's the 18th Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky to sign with the Cats, coming off of a torn ACL his senior year.
Tom, if he's going to play, he has to make open shots from the perimeter. He's, developing, putting the ball on the floor and learning how to defend and all those things. When Cal puts him in, can you go in and make shots and make some guarded shots? If he does, he'll have a valuable spot in Cal's rotation.
And he would be a specialty player in that regard because there's really nobody else who's going to be on the floor just to shoot the ball. Clock running out.
Dante! Oh!
It's just too much pressure. That's not his fault.
No, but we appreciate Carolyn contributing to the scholarship fund. 14 for Dante Allen. All right, here's my pick. B.J. Boston on the floor, Brandon Boston all business off of it. Grew up in the Atlanta area, went over to California to play his final year of high school with a star-studded team in Sierra Canyon.
The state of California Male Athlete of the Year, by the way.
How many of those did they give out?
4. No matter what happens on the first rack, you can't be first rack sensitive.
Okay.
Good or bad, you got to put it behind you and get on with it. That's a huge key in any three-point competition I've ever been a part of.
So you're saying you've got to have that amnesia from the first rack.
Well, you can't. Yeah, you just can't remember it. You got to go on.
Remember, he reclassified in 8th grade, so he may not know what that word means. We're using big words for Jimmy. All right, Brandon's got to finish hot if he wants to climb into this. Davion Mintz, the leader with 22, the first shooter to go, knocked down the most. He's got 13 seconds left. And it won't be enough to catch Mintz. Let's see how he does on the final rack. All right, well, Jimmy's got the lead, and for us to avoid buying him dinner, we need somebody to bring it up from the back of the pack. Maybe it'll be Cameron Fletcher.
Hey, by the way, I'm not buying dinner regardless of what happens. You've been around me long enough to know that.
It's true. Fletcher played at an elite program in St. Louis, Vashon High School. They put guys in the NBA left and right. Anthony Bonner was the great to come out of Vashon.
Came down to Kentucky and Michigan State at the end for Cameron Fletcher. Right now he fights and he fouls, and he does both though at a really high level. He's a fighter defensively, not afraid of contact, fouling too much in practice right now. Cal's trying to get out of him, but he could impact this Kentucky team. A guy that could guard that 2 through 4 position and guard him really well.
Yeah, he's 6'6", right now 215 coming into his freshman season. Everybody on the floor for Kentucky outside the point guard seemed to be 6'6", 6'7", with the 7-footer in the middle. They got length.
Defense will be an added plus for the Wildcats. When you've got to go pass the ball or try to move your offense around their length, that's going to be difficult.
That is a great point. That's a long team. That wing position through that center position, 6'7" to 7 foot.
Fletcher with 11. And our final contestant, Davion Mintz, has 22, sitting in the clubhouse. Just got to outlast Keon Brooks Jr.
I'm a big cheerleader right now for Keon Brooks, just so that we can beat Jimmy Dykes.
Yeah.
It's just one round, right? We don't go to like the playoff. This is it.
We're just going by the final total. And Brooks is behind on Mintz right now.
I love Keon Brooks. I hope he ends up with 21.
He's been battling a calf injury. He's been limited in practice the last couple of weeks. He'll do most of the drills, but they're holding him out of 5-on-5 action so far.
Okay, he's looking good.
You know, Carol, this is a kid that he really does a little bit of everything on both ends of the floor for Calipari when he's healthy. He can jackhammer you at the rim. I know you're familiar with that from your hotel stay last night, Coach.
The construction on Rupp Arena, it's the lullaby that put me to sleep last night.
We were there last week, and Tom said, don't call Carolyn and tell her. Let her find out. I was going to call and tell you, and Tom said, no, don't.
I appreciate it, fellas. Thanks.
Team players. And Brooks will put up a 14 spot.
Who won?
Davion Mintz. Pretty good round all the way around. Olivier Sarr was really impressive. Obviously, as we talked about, the 7-footer. And whether it's the Masters or a three-point contest, if you take a big lead in the clubhouse, usually pretty comfortable with it. And that's exactly what happened with Davion Mintz, who is standing by. We've got everything fired up and ready to go. Davion, can you hear us?
Yep, I got you.
All right. Fantastic round.
Appreciate it.
At any point after you finished your round, were you nervous as somebody else was going to eclipse you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, once I shot the girls' ball, I got super nervous after the air ball, but, I mean, luckily I got away with the win.
Wait, we had a women's-sized ball on the rack?
We had a women's ball, man.
Oh, great shooters know. The 28.5 or whatever it might be. Davion, talk to us about your introduction to this Kentucky program after your years at Creighton. What have you had to adjust to?
I mean, just, playing with really athletic guys. I mean, super quick pace guys that learn fast. I mean, it's been super fun. I mean, these guys are really good, so it's just been real fun playing with them.
Davion, I love talking to shooters because I wasn't one myself, so I'm trying to still learn. What do you look at on the rim when you shoot the ball? You look at the front of the rim, the back of the rim, the basket in general. What do your eyes focus on?
I can't tell my secrets. I'm sorry.
I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way.
Yeah. That's a veteran. Hey, by the way, veteran move by you to grab the money ball on the final rack before the clock.
For sure. Had to.
Smart play. That's a point guard. Davion, congrats. Sure. Three-point champion.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Davion Mintz, our night continues. And by the way, we're on the eve of a huge football game for the Kentucky men's team. By the way, football starts tomorrow on the SEC Network with LSU and Arkansas. Then at 4 o'clock Eastern, Mark Stoops' team will have a chance to knock off the #1 team in the country, Alabama Crimson Tide. And then under the lights, Missouri and South Carolina, along with Mississippi State, number 13, Georgia. All right, three-point is out of the way. We don't have a full house in Rupp, but we got some dudes who can jump through the gym. The dunk contest on deck as Big Blue Madness rolls on.
Keon Brooks, sophomore, communications major, Fort Wayne, Indiana. We had a conversation where we got real deep and, we encourage each other to be vulnerable, to share. That's a big point. That's something that I'm big on, just being able to listen to someone when they present you with a problem or something that they're uncomfortable with. After that conversation, we got to a place where, we felt like we were more connected as a team. So we felt like we need to, share that experience that we had with the rest of BBN, the rest of the country, the rest of the world, because I feel like if we do that, we can strive for change. I am Keon Brooks Jr., and I am more than an athlete.
I'm Davion Mintz, a graduate senior, sports leadership major. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Outside of basketball, I think that it's important for other athletes and other people that, even if you are an athlete outside of your profession, that it is okay to find your free space. It is okay to put down, some of your natural stresses in life and understand that life is so much bigger than what you're going through at the moment. It's okay to just take time for yourself and just breathe and, find serenity and peace in, the world. For me, sometimes I'll overthink and I'll get so involved with what I'm doing at the moment and not understand that it's so much bigger than, your current circumstance. Just keep fighting and stay strong. I am Davion Mintz, and I'm more than an athlete.
Welcome back. Big Blue Madness 2020 continues. Time for the dunk contest. We got 2 rounds, 30 seconds each, and the players who aren't participating will flash their scores. Jim, you got to do some quick math. Here's the roster, and we got 3 contestants in this one. Let's take a look. Isaiah Jackson, Lance Ware, and Jacob Toppin. Carolyn, you get first pick. Who you got?
I'm going Jacob Toppin. Anybody that Coach Cal describes as bouncy,
yep,
that's my pick. when it comes to the dunk contest.
Good pick. His brother, Obi, who was drafted this week in the first round, he led the nation in dunks last year at Dayton. I'm going with Isaiah Jackson. His first dunk came in 8th grade. Jimmy, you get no choice, but Lance is all yours. All right, Isaiah will get us started.
Upsets happen. Oh, good.
Wow, from a step inside the line. That is a strong start. We got 10s across the board and a 50 spot for Isaiah Jackson first round.
Was his takeoff foot on the free throw line? Yes.
Back heel on the line and a windmill.
My goodness, with a over 7-foot wingspan. How about this? He's the fastest Kentucky Wildcat from the baseline to the 3/4 court spot. He's got speed, he's got explosiveness. This kid's got a special future in front of him. Lance, he might be shook right now in that far corner. He's my guy, but he might be shook. Yeah, well,
we got plenty of time. We got 30 seconds. I like the design.
Teamwork.
Ashew's got to give him a good pass off the side.
He's going for a degree of difficulty.
You should tell him C's get degrees. 5 seconds left. Last chance. Can he do it?
Oh, well, that was Askew's fault. That was a horrible pass, and he's a point guard.
All right. It's like one of my golf scores. We're just going to pick up and walk off.
101. No, you don't have 1s and 4s on your golf cart.
No, I do not. I'm happy with a 6. And he should be happy with a 6. He never finished.
Get
All
a
right.
snowman.
Jacob Toppin transferred in from Rhode Island. This is Carolyn's pick. Get ready to be wowed.
You got to believe he and his brother have had some sibling competition. Ooh.
Yeah, dunking runs in the family. His dad's 40 and still throwing down dunks. That was insane. He just went between his legs.
And he made it look easy.
Yeah.
Like on an 8-foot goal, easy.
Did I say bouncy?
He said bouncy. We got a 48 first round for Jacob.
He spun and took it between his legs and had plenty of room. I don't know. That's a tie to me.
That's what Dominique thought back in the day, but MJ still won it. So we got a 50 and a 48. See if Isaiah can wow us again. Yaka! When you make it look so easy, when you rock the cradle and just make it look like you're walking down the sidewalk, an 8? Well, you got 2 9s, 2 8s. We're waiting for one more score to come in.
Man, you talk about putting your chin on the rim. This kid is right there. I can't wait to watch his development over the next 4 or 5 months. He will not be in Lexington long. And he's just thinking, don't pull a hamstring.
Right.
Seriously. I mean, as a coach, Carolyn Wright, just get out of here healthy right now.
I'm telling you, just take it easy and finish the night.
Did you get a final number on Isaiah's second dunk?
My guy's struggling here. He's got to get a dunk off. Well, he's got a Big Ten, Big East body though that I love. There you go. Yes, sir.
Bam Bam firepower on that one.
Okay, his teammates like that one a little better. He completed a dunk.
Now that was a real Tom Hart golf scorecard.
Yeah, it was.
Well
we got
done.
Snowmen, we got some 7s.
I like this guy's game. He knows how to play. Vicious as a screener, not afraid to bang you. Like he's what the Big Ten and the Big East just go after, and Cal's got one now at Kentucky.
Oh, I don't like these.
No, this looks.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It's on you.
Oh, pump fake.
Oh.
It's just. I would put a manager out there.
You guys are too nervous.
Oh, you gotta hurry.
Time is ticking. You like?
You know, I saw him do that in a scrimmage on a breakaway. Take off and spin and hammer. And
Terrence Clark's looking around. He's copying off somebody's paper.
Is something wrong with that?
Isaiah Jackson with a remarkable start, and that's going to be good enough to get him the win, a 50 spot before he got a 48 on his second dunk. And the freshman from Pontiac, Michigan gets a chance to get the spotlight. That was impressive, I got to say. And we got him set up ready to take some Jacksons. Isaiah, congratulations. The first dunk was impressive. How many times have you taken off from further than that? Because you had your back heel on the line and you were just over, but I got a feeling maybe you've gone deeper before.
Nah, that was my first time actually. I used to try all the time last year, and I finally got it to go this year. So, I mean, it was a good dunk.
It was a great dunk. It was a 50. Good scoring.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, a lot of times people think that you're just a defensive player. With a dunk like that, though, that's got to add to part of your offensive game.
Of course. Whenever it's a fast break and I'm there, I mean, it's going to be showtime. So stay ready.
Isaiah, we don't have the shot blocking contest tonight, but you would have won that as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're really good blocking shots with both hands. Talk about how that developed for you, please.
I mean, really, it just developed as a kid, like just playing on the mini hoop, just blocking shots like that, and I mean, with my athleticism, just put it in together on like the real court.
First dunk in 8th grade, you remember it, and did it have any similarities to the two you threw down tonight?
Nah, it's way better, way better.
It's all relative. Isaiah, thanks, man. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
That's Tyrese right here.
What's happening? Hey, and the family look great. I wish I could be down there.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much for everything.
All right, love you, man. Hey, how about that? Hey, man, you deserve it. You worked for it. Are you ecstatic? Wait, are you crying because you're happy? Who's that New York Knickerbocker?
Hey, Coach, this is just the beginning, though. You about to see something great.
I know. I'm trying to tell everybody. They don't understand. I said, he going to the Knicks, and he's going to space that court out. They tell me you're shooting the pee out of the ball. Everybody telling me. You can't believe how happy I am for you. I am like, and with the Knicks.
You said I couldn't do it, man.
Who
said I couldn't do it, Coach?
I know. Hey, I love you. Hey, let's just get through this COVID and you guys get back here and come to some games.
Appreciate it, Coach. I'll make some noise for you.
I know you will. All right, see ya.
Three-point contest is in the books, and the dunk contest is wrapped up. Isaiah Jackson with the throwdown, and now we're ready for the scrimmage. The last 9 players off last year's team, Jimmy. They replace it with a consensus #1 recruiting class in the country, some impact transfers. Let's get to see some of the faces you think we need to know.
Well, once again, Calipari brings in the nation's #1 ranked recruiting class, and those 4 freshmen right there are outstanding in their own special way. B.J. Boston is going to be an elite scorer in time. He's a thin kid that can go get a bucket, can do things off the bounce really well. Clark is just an athlete right now on the floor, does a good job of getting in the paint. Both of them are nationally ranked in that top 10. Devin Askew is a bulldog, Tom, at that point guard spot. Carolyn, you and I both love Isaiah Jackson, the long kid that much more than a defender, and Olivier Sarr. I think if Kentucky opens up tonight in a game, those are your starting 5.
I would have to agree. In watching the practices that I have seen, but the depth on this Kentucky basketball team is extremely impressive. I think he's got probably 8 potential starters that he could rotate in.
So what do you expect? Like, what can we learn from this scrimmage tonight, Jimmy, that hasn't already been determined through other scrimmages?
Well, I think
you know what? Let's hold on. Okay. Because I have somebody.
I had a great answer, though.
I'm sure you did, but I have somebody who's better prepared to give us an even better answer. It's the head coach of the Cats, John Calipari. He's got a headset on courtside. Cal, I was just asking Jimmy, so I'll pass it off to you. What can we learn from this scrimmage tonight? The fans get a chance to see at home that you don't already know at your team. What do you want to see?
Well, truth be told, there's not a whole lot. The biggest thing is have a little fun. We just, you look at this stuff and, I said breakouts, let them go. Don't foul anybody hard, and have a ball. Because let me tell you, the season for us is a grind. Every game is someone's Super Bowl. All the stuff that these kids have to deal with. And I told them today, I worry about them. I worry about their mental health. I worry about all kind of things, not only the virus, but all this stuff. And then, the anxiety they have playing basketball. And then when they walk in the gym, there are other really good players in there. They're not the only ones. But I like this team. I really do. I like our length. I'm trying to get them to, no showtime. We're not the N1 tape. We're playing basketball to win. We're trying to be efficient. And they're learning. They're getting better.
Speaking of this team, we'll talk in length about it, obviously, with them on the floor for 10 minutes. But I want to go back to the introductions. What did you think of your roommate's introduction?
I didn't get to see it. But the princess probably had some fun with it. And we laugh. I just said, man, I wish, we, what I say, when I die, I want to come back my wife.
Cal, the first couple possessions, they've listened to you in terms of make sure we don't get anybody hurt.
Right, yeah. They're just let them run up and down and have some fun and, shoot some balls. And, like I said, this is not normal, us having this late. But our fans deserve it. Our fans are the best. They're going to suffer, too, now with all this virus stuff. And they're going to suffer because we're only going to have so many people at the game. And, hopefully this thing doesn't, keep heating up. Because if we do, it's probably going to be less than more. And that's why I would tell everybody out there, please, at this point, we're like 2 months from the vaccine. And why would you want to get sick the last month of this, or get somebody else sick, or go into the hospital? I would do everything I could, even if I was one of those guys saying, you know what, it's a hoax, it's not this, it's not that. But you know what, I'm not taking a chance. That's what I would do. And that's what I'm doing. This team has done all the good things for a bunch of weeks. I'm hoping our students go home and they're safe, but wear the mask, social distance. If you're inside, don't be in there long, and I think they're all, what are these guys doing? Are we even playing?
What offense are you running right now, Cal?
Well, I want everybody to scout us on this.
Sure.
You should prepare for this kind of stuff.
Well,
this is what it looks like.
Well, Coach Cal, not being able to go out recruiting, you've been able to spend a lot of time at home with the princess. But you also have been able to get some rest.
And we're still married. Can you imagine?
But you look like you're having a lot of fun. You look more rested and relaxed. Is that the case? And what have you enjoyed, even though we have kind of been locked down in this COVID situation?
I do have more energy. You get in a great rhythm. I haven't been going to mass because of the COVID. I just don't want to be inside. I haven't been going to my coffee with the boys the last couple weeks. I did for a couple weeks, and I'm just feeling uncomfortable. And it's not me worrying about getting it. It's me worrying about getting it and giving to one of these kids. Mm-hmm. That's my fear. And so, but yeah, I've got more energy. And I tell the story, and Frank Martin and I are dear friends, but Frank calls me and said, we got another commitment from Zoom. This is the greatest. And I told him, they haven't met you. That's why. If they met you, they wouldn't come. And but he's doing some great stuff. And I'll tell you, it's going to kind of be recruiting 2.0 going forward. I don't think we're going to be doing stuff. We're not going to travel as much. I think we're going to do more from Zoom, more from video, more that kind of stuff. It's just going to be a different way of life, and it's probably going to save us a whole lot of money. It's going to save some coaches the wear and tear on us. You guys know, I mean, people follow the plane. I'm in 4 cities in 3 days and 6 visits, and then that weekend have 3 families in. And the biggest thing with all our recruits, they want to see me. Well, I can't be in 5 places in one time. So you end up really, you know, busting it to try to get to where you're respecting the kids and their families. And so this is good. I've been with this team since they got back. I've been on the court every day. You know, where some of them would, you know, where I'd say I wouldn't be here because I was out recruiting. That's not the case. And I'm having a ball. Every day I leave, I'm like, I can't wait for tomorrow, guys. They look at me like I'm crazy. Like, this guy doesn't stop.
You used to chase them off the floor. Now they want to chase you off the floor.
Oh, they're seeing me when I come in. But
hey, Cal, talking about recruiting, listen to this. Since 2010, the entire Big Ten Conference, the entire league, has produced 27 first-round picks. You have produced by yourself 29 here at Kentucky. What does that say about you and recruiting, your staff, what you look for, all those things?
Well, it says a lot about the families of the kids, that they have enough faith and trust in this way of doing it, which is you're going to be here with other good players. You're not going to be the only guy. You're not going to walk in the gym and be the best by far, and we're going to do everything through you, and you're going to – they know they're going to be other really good players. So you got to give it to these families that they trust this process, and they trust we're here to coach every player. Today's draft, I'm hoping we have 4 or 5 guys drafted. I'm looking at this saying that's what this is about for us. It's not just one guy. The second thing I would tell you is when you come here, you learn to fight. You learn to take what you want. You learn that nothing is given, it's all earned. You learn that it's all about the habits you have. What habits do you have that you've created that are giving you what you need to be a professional and be successful, not just get drafted?
And the success you're talking about isn't just on the court, but this year especially, it's off the court as well. Walk us through the McClendon Foundation and the people that are unique to the campus here that are doing things away from basketball.
Well, I think you have it. You hopefully you have that our future leaders in the McClendon Foundation you have up there. But Rowan, Victor, and Erica, and Marcus, and Caesar, you got guys and ladies here that are stars. And what the McClendon Foundation, we coaches, and there are 80 of us that invested in this. It's our money, and the universities, their training, and these young people have access and opportunity that they would not have. These are positions, and right now, by this year, in a pandemic year, different universities around the country, we're going to end up hiring 30 future leaders. And my guess is we're going to look, some of them are going to be in athletic administration. Others are going to be in business. Others are going to start businesses. They just needed a little springboard. They needed a hand up. Now, they got to earn their way. I mean, it's an opportunity to show how special you are, to rub elbows with people you wouldn't have a chance to rub elbows with, to do what you want with this. It's kind of like our basketball program. It's a stage. It gives you an opportunity maybe you didn't have. And so I'm excited. I'm as excited about this as anything we coaches have all been involved with. And let me thank Tommy Amaker, who helped co-lead this with me so we would have, a bunch of coaches. And again, we got 80 coaches to commit to this. And it's not optics. They're committed to 4 years. And it's financially significant because we want these young people not to have to take out loans, not to have to spend savings. We want this to be an entry position in athletics. We're all going to mentor this group here. Some of the schools have 1 or 2. We have a little bit more because obviously we were the anchor. But we're mentoring. The athletic department's going to it's going to be a good thing. It's real, and the ones that we've hired here, stars. Stars.
Well, and Coach, I got to meet Ro Rhodes and talk to her, and she talked about you're not just putting your name on it, but you've got skin in the game. And when you talk about the financial commitment, that commitment, if I'm correct, is their salaries. You coaches have committed to covering the salaries. My question to you is, why was this so important for you and Tommy Amaker to come together to do this for the minority community?
Well, here's the thing. We know what went on. We know how ugly it was. And you all know me pretty well. I'm an action guy. I want to come up with ideas of how do we do something. The screaming, the yelling, we all did it. The sick to our stomach, the disgust. I mean, now it became, okay, hold it. How do we make a difference? What can we do? And you know what? Access and opportunity, we coaches have a chance to make a difference on. The universities that we work, the athletic departments that we work in, the athletic directors that we work for. And so it became, we were going to do it just at Kentucky. And G3 Marketing said, why don't you scale it and let other coaches do the same? And I said, what a great idea. And I grabbed Tommy Amaker and said, hey, how about you help me? We'll go 2 different directions. We'll get different now. Football coaches, basketball coaches, women's basketball coaches, baseball coaches, had a tennis coach call. I mean, you have all coaches from all black and white women. It's here we are saying, let's give people an opportunity. They say on the courts and fields, we don't have a problem because all of a sudden you look at my guys. But in the administration, we don't have enough diversity. We don't have enough people of color. Okay, here's an opportunity. We don't want to hear, well, we didn't have enough applications. Here we are right now creating opportunities, and that's what it was about.
I love it. It's got to start somewhere, just like this season's going to get started for you on Wednesday night. You guys have already had a couple scrimmages at Rupp. Quickly, since this has just turned into kind of guys running up and down the floor, what'd you learn about the scrimmages at Rupp? What can we expect?
You know, we're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to play. You know, I don't know if I want to press because we're so big and long. Why do I want to stretch out all over the court? But we are a big zone too, so how much of that do we play? You know, offensively, I said to them yesterday, we don't get enough easy baskets because we don't run hard enough. We don't throw the ball ahead enough. So then I said, look at all of you. You understand if we get 65 points in a game, 62? Some of you are scoring 2 points. You're getting 4. Do you really want to score 65 or do you want to score 85? Then you got an offensive rebound. Then you got to fly on the wings. And guards, you can't dribble. You got to throw it ahead. And when a guy's open in the post, throw it to him. We got to play faster. So we have more shot opportunities. So a lot of people eat, which is normal for us. Right now, we're still learning.
Perfect. Cal, thanks so much. Great event, making the most of everything here in 2020. I know it wasn't a packed house at Rupp, but it was a good showing by your guys. Can't wait to see the season get started on Wednesday.
Thanks, Tommy.
It's John Calipari, and after the scrimmage, let's swing it over to Terrence Clark, one of the newest members of this Kentucky team, part of the consensus #1 recruiting class in the country. Terrence, you guys are on the verge of getting the season started now. This is kind of like a dry run for you, just to come out and have some fun, be in the spotlight. Walk us through where you are from a preparation standpoint, where you've been when you first got onto campus, and now like practically on the eve of your first game.
Man, it's ridiculous. You know, I feel like we made crazy progress since day one to today. And I mean, everybody's getting better. And I just love it every day. I feel like we work every single day. And, you know, we're putting our all for coach and everybody. You know, we are just waiting to play right now. And that's just everybody. That's just everybody's mindset right now.
Terrence, one of the first things that Coach Cal told me about you was he said, I'm trying to get Terrence to quit messing with the ball and just go by your guy. How have you grown in that area over the last few weeks?
Oh, no, I just feel like I'm just going to need to attack the seams as quick as possible. I feel like in college it's definitely a different game. So, you know, everything that you have or you see in the game, you want to just attack it as quick as possible. And one of the main things for me that I needed to work on was one of those things from Cal. So, you know, that's the thing that I'm focusing on the most right now.
Terrence, thanks so much, man. It was fun watching you tonight. Can't wait to see you when the games count.
Thank you. I can't wait to play.
What an incredible smile and great energy. Terrence, not the mascot, or whatever order you want, as we get ready to put a bow on Big Blue Madness. Different tonight than it's ever been. It's not 20,000 people in Rupp, but we had a chance to bring it to you, and that's what we wanted to do. Carolyn, your final thoughts on this Kentucky women's basketball team?
I think that this team is in great hands with Kyra Elzy. They've got great depth, great energy, and lots of different weapons.
And Jimmy, this men's team is ready to go, hitting the floor this week.
Well, it was a fun night, and everybody showed up and did well, including the cheerleaders, by the way. This is a Kentucky team when we see them next week. Then it's going to be game on. They're young, they're crazy talented, they're crazy long, but the pieces are there for Calipari to have another special season.
Special night tonight. Big Blue Madness is a wrap. Kentucky men and Kentucky women ready for this season. Pleasure bringing it to you. Good night, everybody. Have a great weekend.